Hello everyone. Today I'm going to teach you how to make CRUD in CodeIgniter. So as you can see, there's a pretty much open applications here, and then this is what I'm going to show you. This is CodeIgniter 3.1.5, which our professor gave us. So I'm going to copy this file on my WAMP server, and I have my WAMP server here. All service running. So let's go to C 64 www dot and then copy it there. Let's just wait. Basically what we're doing here is just CRUD. No design, no CSS, nothing at all. No JavaScript, no jQuery. Just the basic CRUD, you know. Just how to use the CodeIgniter. So I'm going to rename this to my project, since this is my project and my name is Antog. So project Antog. Then drag this file here on your Sublime text. Okay, so for us to know that it's already running, we have to look it on our browser. So type localhost slash project tog, since that's my folder name, so enter. So we already installed like that the CodeIgniter on our PC. So the first thing to do is first make your database. Yan. Make your database in your Navicat. So open your connection and then new database. Name it whatever you like. So DB, for me, I will name this DB Project Antog. So I won't get lost because it's the same as my project's folder name. So I'm going to create a new table. So what I'm gonna do is, the blog post or something like that. We're dealing with post, so it should have ID, which is int, and then it should be our primary key, and then also auto increment it. So oops, I removed it, and then we should have our title, which is varchar, and then body, it should be a long text, and then slug, and then save it to tbl posts. That's it. So before we proceed to our CodeIgniter, I will put some data here for our view. So first, since what we're gonna do first is the read function in our CRUD, so this is just to show us that we're getting the data from our database. First, post. Thanks to post, and then this is my first post in my project, but made in Navicat. Slug is first post, just like that. Okay, so we don't have to deal with this Navicat for a long time, so you don't have to close it, just minimize it. So the first thing to do is, since CodeIgniter, by the way, is a MVC framework of PHP. So it deals with models, views, and then controllers. What we should do first is make ourselves a controller. So I'm going to name this post.php since this will deal with the views and then this will deal for our posts. So for example, I have user, so I will do user.php for my controller for the user. But for now, I will just use post because I'm dealing with post. So type php tab, then delete this because CodeIgniter already responds that when you type this, all the other things here will be in PHP. So you just have to type class, and then the name of our class will be post, and then extends CI controller. This means that our class post will use all the function CodeIgniter already include in this file. So all the function on the controller will be used by our class post since we extend its properties. We should do first our first function for initializing, for example, our database for this post controller. So this is where you will put that. So public function double underscore construct parentheses and then that parent construct. So for example, I'm going to load our model here. This is where we put that, but later we will do that. So our first function to do is to show our index file for this controller. So to do that, we should public function index, and then to view a page, we type this load. We load the view. Since we don't do view yet, we don't make our view yet. We have to make it here. So views. I'm going to make a new folder named post, and then on my folder post, I will make a new file and then name it index.php. Okay, so I'm going to put HTML here just for the view. So this is index. And then to load that, this load view means this folder. So this index function will look inside this views folder. That means since our index file is inside our folder post, we should include post here, which is our folder, and then index, which is our file. So post/index. So when we, by the way, CodeIgniter needs to have index.php on its URL, but you can delete it or you can modify it to remove this index.php, but I'm not adding that. So and then slash and then name of your controller, and then since it's index, we don't have to include index here. This should be fine. So yeah, we can see it right here, index, which is this one, index, this. So when we refresh, yeah, this is the one. This is our view, which is this post index inside our views folder, post folder, and then index file. since we can view this already, we can make we can now make our view, or we can now make the function read. So to do that, first we have to do to make we have to go to config and then database, and then below there's a there's a variable named db, and then host name, localhost, default username. The default username is root, and then the database is the database name, which is what you made here. DB project untog for me. DB project untog. So that's it. Save it, and then before we make our controller, we should load in our auto load here in the libraries here. This is the libraries database. We should load database so that our project will identify this database here, or he can use that. It can use that. I mean, okay. So next, we should make our model now. So I make model, for example, post as my project name. So project untog post, for me to not get lost, But you can name it whatever you like. So the extension will be .php, and then save it. Then PHP, because this is CI, and then everything follows will be on PHP, so that should be fine. So class project untog post will be the name, because that's the name of this controller. Extends, I think you can know what it extends. So CI model. Instead of controller, just like this, now we will extend model, because we made a class model for our project. So CI already made functions also for models that we can use. So we should do this also here, but I know you can just not do that, but it's a habit. So I always make that. So whenever I have to load something, I'll just type it here, and then I don't have to type all of this all over again when I need it. So I'm just doing, since what we're gonna do first is get the values from here, from our table. I'm going to name this as get posts, or just post, get post, like that. And then the code to, when you're working with, when you know about something like when you know how to code in SQL, in queries, just select, select asterisk from TBL name. That's what they type, especially, for example, in C#, But since it's already a framework, we don't have to type this query anymore. We just have to type this db get. Get is the select for the CodeIgniter. This means get the items from the table, which is you will include inside it. It has a parameter. It expects a parameter, which is the table name. And our table name is TBL post. So you're going to TBL post. So that's basically it. You can have something like get, something like that, and then if is get, return true, else return false, something like that. So when you call it here, so to call that, we just have to, we have to, as I say lately, you have to initialize, when you have to initialize something, you can just type it here on your construct. So since I'm going to use this class, I need to initialize it here. Project untog, I'm sorry, model, this load, model, and then the name. The name is project untog post, is right here, tag post. Then I can now use that. So I have here my data, which is let's name it posts. It is an associative array, and then the name will be post. So when we call that here on our view, we can just call this this associative name post in here. So this, and then the project, the data, the model name, and then the function we made. So get post, post, I guess. I'm sorry. You don't have to return true here. What you should return here is this, is get. Is get as an, you know what, let's just don't use this. This will ruin your life. Let's just name this query, and then return query as a result. Return its result. This will return an array to our, so this function will pass an array to this associative name on our data array. This will pass a array here. So I don't know what I'm saying. So now we can pass that data here on our view. You know what? I think I should do a template here. So our life will be easier. Instead of just post, I will make a new folder named template. And then inside that, I will make a header.php. And then this will have the HTML. This will be okay here. This, and then title. And then the start tag of the body will be right there. But the end and the end tag of the body and the end tag of HTML will be placed on the footer. So let's make here a footer. So I'm just going to name this as Project Untog. That should be fine now. So to load that, I mean, we can now modify this. We can delete that and then just h1 index. And then to load the header and the footer view, copy this code and then rename this to the templates folder and then the header since it's the first one. So template slash template slash header, and then below it will be template footer. So when you refresh this, nothing will be changed, but the footer is added. Okay, so for the title, I think I want to use I want to echo a variable here, title. So for us to pass in just one data, we made it as a associative array. So for us to pass that title, we can just name title here on our associative array data and then pass the value we want to show here as our title. So I want to show the project untog and then refresh. Oops. Data. Template. Syntax error. Maybe I forgot to put a, forgot to put a semicolon. I'm excited. I'm sorry. So yeah, there's Project Untog as our title. And we can now close this. So to show the database values and our views, we can place them in the table with the T head for the title. I don't want to show the ID, so title and then the body. And then T body, TR, TD, then PHP, echo. So now we will get this post variable here. So I mean, before we do that, since we can have multiple data inside here. We don't have just one data here. We maybe have 1,000 or 2,000 data inside it. So we have to loop it here. So just before TR, place a for each, then PHP tag, and then inside it for each, and then the name post, the variable post, which is this one. So if I rename this post, just post, I will use post here, but since it has a lot of data, I will use the plural, so I can use this as a post because this post is now a singular, the single piece of data inside the post. Okay, so now instead of using bracket, we will use colon. So and then use end for each here. And then by doing that, everything inside this for each and then this end for each will be looped as there is a data inside this post. So everything here will loop, everything inside this will loop. Okay, so let's now echo the post since this is the singular or the one line. This line is the post. So since we're just going to show the title and the body, we should just call the column name title for the title, and then I'm going to copy this and then rename this to body, since this column name title is the title for our, and then I use body here because my column name here is body. Okay, semicolon, so I don't have errors. And then I will just have a border here so we can actually see the separation of the title and the body. See? We now have our title and our body. So that's the read function on CodeIgniter. Okay, so the next thing we should do is create. So for our create, I think we can just have a link here, which is named create. Let's see it here. So I will make BR here, so there will be a space. Oops, there's no space, so I don't want anymore. Just leave it like that. Because when we put CSS here, you can just modify the place of this one. So the link will be the function inside this post controller, or anywhere you want to link something. So in CodeIgniter, to link a page, you have to make a PHP tag, and then inside it echo the base URL. But since base URL is unknown to our program or to our project, we have to add in our config and then config, we have to add our base URL here, since as you can see, there's nothing here. So to add that, we just have to type this from here to here. But that's not all. You have to type HTTP / for the, when you type here HTTP, something like that, localhost. Yeah. So that's it. HTTP localhost / and then your project name. So my project name is Project Antog. So I'm just going to save it, and then on our autoload, we also have to include in our helper the URL. So we can use the base URL as we use it here, so we don't encounter an error. Okay, so inside this base URL, we can now pass the name of our controller, and then next to it is the function for us to load the view of our create. So just like this one, the index, we now have to name it as a create because this is create. Yeah. So I'm just going to name it create, but you can name it like add or something like that, but I prefer create because that's what I like. And then here inside the base URL, you have to put it should be a text. I forget this one. Quote. Yeah. You have to put a quote and then controller name, comma, create. Because this text here will be placed here. So imagine there's a I'm sorry, you have to include also this. As you can see, we just include in our config here that localhost up to project and tog. So up to here only. But we can in, ex, in we can put index.php there because it will have conflicts. So just add index.php on the link you are creating. So this line will be placed here. So this when we click this button, this index.php up to create will be put there when we click this button. As you can see below, localhost project and tog post create because we didn't save this yet and we don't. You see, localhost project and tog on the bottom right left on the bottom left localhost project and tog index.php post slash create. So when we click that, we don't have anything because we already have a function but we don't have a view like this one. We don't load a view. So to load that, you can just copy this all because programming is copying, so it's allowed. And then we don't need this, so we delete that. And then here, instead of using index, we should use create view because we're dealing with create now. So as you can see, these two won't change here because they should be the same. And then the title, since the title is dynamic because we have it here, we can now make this as create new. So when we go to the create view, instead of project and tog above here, we will have create new in here. So let's try it again. So refresh and then click create. Unknown error. An error was encountered unable to load the requested file post create. Yeah, because we didn't create a create view on our post folder. So in views, post folder, because this is in post folder, and then create is the name. So save it as create.php. And then create. Yeah. So when we click this, we should see this here. So let's try it. Yeah, we can now see it. Create new. And then the title is also create new instead of project and tog because the title on our header is dynamic. So we can change it on our code instead of going to the file itself. Okay, so now to do the create view, since it is a post request because we're posting the values from our text boxes here, we should open a form. But in CodeIgniter, instead of using this form tag, CodeIgniter has his own. So echo form open and then HP echo form close. You should always close it just right after you open it, so you won't get errors. So inside this form open, we should give this link just like this one, but without the PHP. This post create, because post is our controller and then create is the function we will be using for our post request. So we have to include it here, post create, and then we can have here h4, h3, and then title, and then PHP echo form. So instead of using input type text, instead of using that, CodeIgniter has its own, which is form input, and then the first variable is the name, so txt title, because this is my title, and then h3 to the body, and then copy this one, rename it to txt body. But instead of using form input, since this is a long text, we can use text area. Yeah. And then we can have here a PHP echo form submit, which is the first variable or first parameter is name, then second parameter is the text. So when we refresh this, we will get an error. Why? Because this this form functions doesn't include in our project yet. So to do that, go to your config, autoload, and then here in our helper, we should include form. So when we refresh this, you can now see them. You see this the text area, and then submit, like that. So now we already have that, but we don't have the function to insert this. So we can just type it, and then we will just, when you submit it, you will just go here all over and over. So to add the data we type here to our database, we should first verify if this input text box here and then this text area for our body has a data, or we will make this to a required. So to do that, we will use the function in CodeIgniter, which is the form validation, and then set rules. Set rules function requires a parameter, which is the name. So txt area, txt title, name of our input, type this, the name of this text box is text title. And the next parameter will be the proper name. And then third parameter is the rules. So as I say, we should make this to required. So I'm going to make the rules as required. You can have other rules which is included in their in the localhost user guide. This which is included in their user guide. Yeah, right here. This is their CodeIgniter documentation, and then you can type here the form validation. So here there's a rule reference. So this is all the rules you can use. You can use is unique, less than to something, or it should be numeric or integer. Yeah, you can go here to look for what you need. Max length, mean length, the maximum and the minimum, exact length. So yeah, just go here if you want something. Okay, so we have our validation for our title. So let's copy this and then make for the, just rename this to the name of your text area here, which is text body for me, right there, and then body. And then instead of title, rename this to body. So if we will now check if this is correct or if this is met, if this text title and text body which is required has a data. So if this form validation run, so if this is okay, if this is true, we will do, we will now add. Okay, so for us to add these datas here to our database, we should first create the function in our model. So public function insert or add post. Yeah, I think add post is, you can name it whatever you like. I just want to name it add post. So our function will require a parameter which is record. So this db insert, I believe it's insert. So that's the insert into, now in query, insert into tbl name values. Yeah, this is it, the insert. But instead of that, we just pass the record variable in here. I mean, before we pass that record, we should tell first which table will be used. So we will use the tbl post folder and then the value we want to pass. We don't have to return anything when we use this, but this is where you can put the if this is inserted, so is inserted, return true, else return false. So we can now call this here the, we can have here a, you know, we actually we don't really need this, because for me this is nonsense. Yeah, I don't know, I just don't want to use that. So since we validate it, and then before we, and then we can now call this add post in our project. So this in our controller, so this project on tog post, which is our model, and then the add post function. But since our add post function requires a parameter, here, which is record, and we don't have record here anywhere. So for us to make that, we have to make a record, which is a array, and then the first associative name for our array will be the same as our column name here. We don't have to include the ID because ID is auto increment. And then we first need to add the title, and then next the body, and then the slug. So first is title. What I'm going to pass to the title is the post value from this text box here. So to do that, I'm going to call that form. So this form input, this input, this post, this input, yeah, this input post, and then the name, txt title. I'm sorry. The next is the body, and then the value for the body will be coming from this input also, and post txt body. So we have the last thing, which is the slug, but we don't know where to get that slug. So what I'm gonna do is, when we run that, when it's true, I'm going to have here a slug equal to URL title. This is just a function. Since we include in our autoload the helper URL, we can use this URL title. URL title, and then first parameter is from where it's what's the value. So just like the title, we have to pass it here. That's the first value we need. So comma, and then what will be the, as you can see here, we use dash. So because our title have a space here, so on every space we will put dash. So here we will be using a dash and then true. I don't know what that means, what does mean, but I'm just going to use that because it's awesome. So save it, and then this record will be passed here, and then we can now redirect to our post controller, which is this one, but we can redirect to our post and then index, but post will be okay. And then before we redirect, I want something that will be shown on our home page. This, where's that? Oh, I forgot yeah, I'm so sorry. So when we create, oh yeah, undefined property, yeah, we have to include the form validation in our autoload. To use this form validation, we have to load it here on our libraries. So form validation, that. So when I refresh it, it's okay. So when I add something and then it will redirect here, I want something that will be shown here as example. You successfully added a new post, something like that. So to do that, we should go here in our index and then above our index, I will place a PHP, and then this session slash data, and then the name will be success, since we're going to show the succession here that our that we added a new post. But session, our project doesn't know what session is. So to let it know that we will use session, we should include it also here in libraries, comma, and then session, like that. And then here in our controller, before we redirect, since this is the add, and then after that we will redirect. But before that, what we can do is this session, and then instead of just flash data like this, set flash data, and then the name success, because that's the name here, success, equals to the value you want to pass. I mean, no, not equals. Second parameter will be the, so you have to put a comma, and then this will be the text you want to show in here when you created something. Success. You created a new post. Something like that. So redirect. Oh, I forgot the semicolon again. I'm so sorry. Okay, so now let's try it. Let's create a second post. I always use that second post on my projects. This is my second post on this project. Yeah. Oops. But we don't have the... Oh, because I didn't echo it. I should echo this one. I'm so sorry. I think this will work. This will work. Yeah, it will. I mean, yes. Right? Yes. Uh-huh. Success! You created a new post. And then that's just a splash data. So when we refresh this line will be gone. So, yeah. Okay, that's the create. So we are now 2, and we have to make the 2 more. To do that, it's pretty simple when we created this create function here. And then the view or the read function. Because what we're going to do on the edit and then the delete is just like in edit, it's just like create, and then in delete, it's just like select this one. So let's make it. First, let's add another column here. I'm going to name it action, and then here I'm going to add a td, which is a link, edit, and then link, which is delete. So just like create, edit, and then delete. So that's the CRUD already. This is the read, and then the create. We can now create, edit, and then delete will be the last thing. So the link of this edit is just like this one. So you can see echo base URL index post create. So let's just copy this one, copy it, and then paste it here. But instead of create, we will be using edit, and then add a slash, and then outside the quote, single quote, put a point for concatenation and then include the post slug. You see? So we can now use the, when we save that and then refresh. So you can see on the bottom left, see? Localhost project on tog index.php post slash edit slash first post, because that's our slug for that. And then the next is the second post, and then this will work since our title for this is this will work with spaces, and then the slug will don't have space, and then replace that with dash. That's what we made here. This one, slug. That's it. That's for the thing there. Okay, so now we have a link for our edit. So we can copy this and then paste it here. So I guess you can see it nicely. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to full screen it so you can see it exactly. So this is the edit, you see? And here, instead of edit, wait, two. Yeah, just like that one. And then now, copy this one. And then, in the href, here in delete, paste it there. But instead of edit, just like this one, instead of edit here, we will use the delete here, that delete, yeah. So that on our page, you see, index.php post slash delete, second post is what, so yeah, it's nice, instead of 1, 2, 3, instead of their ID, it's better. So, for our edit, what we basically need to do is make the function edit. So I'm going to full screen it so you can actually see, because it is kind of tricky. So as you can see here in our create function, all of that will be the same here. I mean, not all of that. Almost all of this will be the same. So what I'm going to do is highlight everything inside, just inside, not this one and then this. Just from here up to here, I'm going to copy and then paste it here on my edit function. Why? Because as I say, there's only a little difference within them. The view will be also the same. Just you wait. So instead of create here, edit, post, something like that. So this will be the same, the same, the same. This will be the same also, the same. This will be not the same, and then this one also, but just this one. Success. You updated. You update. You update a post. So that's it. And then redirect to post. So this will be what will be changed. I don't know what I'm saying, but that's it. So let's make the the edit view. So in our edit function, instead of edit here on our template, we will use the edit view, which I'm going to make now. Post, then new file, edit.php, and then, edit. That. P H P. 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 And then, edit. That. go to the create.php view file, this, and then highlight it all, Control A, and then Control C, then go to edit, and then Control V. So that's it. Instead of create, edit, post, and then, oh yeah, I didn't show you the validations, right? So you can have, you will just have to put it here. Echo validation errors. So when we go here, and then we refresh it, and then create, I don't put anything there, and then submit. So you see, the title field is required. So that's the validation errors. So I'm sorry I didn't include it on our add or our create. So we'll do the same. So as I said before, text type, this form input, the first parameter is the name. Next is the value. So since we copy this, we're short with one function, which is in our index. So since this is get, and in our edit, we should get one value or one data. So you can see here, because when we click this edit, we should get just this data, edit. We just have to edit this second post, but not this, and then not also this one. So this is we're just going to get a single value. So, but it's still the same as a get. So to simpler the things, we don't have to make a new function here. We just have to modify this one. We can have here a parameter named slug equal to none or to null. So if slug is equal to this one, it will just do this, just like the same. And then else, if slug has something, so instead of just this one, we will modify this, copy it, and then paste it here. So instead of get, we will be using get where, comma, the slug. See? This where slug. Or, yeah, it is much slower. So we can just use the ID. Then here's the ID. And then instead of returning a result, we will be returning a row, because this is just a single line of, for example, you see here I have three rows and then 4 columns, which is ID, body, and then slug. These 4 rows, 3 rows, I mean. So when I click the second one, edit, and then this row will be passed by this, because this TBL post is the table, and then the next parameter will be the condition. So this is not just a ID, I'm sorry. This will be an array. Inside that will be the column name, which is ID, and then equal to ID. You see? So it will look for the ID equal to ID here on our table. So the ID we passed will be looked on our table, and if it matches, it will throw this query as a row to our controller here in our edit. So instead of add post, we will be using get post. Get post. Yeah, this get post. I mean, no, this is not here. Yeah, this is here. So we can copy this, but we will edit this later also. So get post ID. And then we have to, just like this one, we equal this to a variable, to an array which has a associative name post. So we have to pass this into our mm, data post. Since it is just a singular, we can just use post. So that's for the view. So here on our form input, the first parameter is the name of our text box, and then the second is the value. So since we pass this data here, we can now call this associative name here as a variable on our view. So post and then title, because title is the column name. So post and then the body. I don't know if it should be, yeah, it should be echo, I think. No, this is PHP, so I think it's okay by just that. And then the additional value we need is the PHP echo form hidden. This is for the ID. So txt ID, comma, post ID. So we can get the ID we will be using here. Now, oh yeah, we will be using this for our update, but to get the data, we really need to search for the slug in our model slug, then slug. I'm so sorry because, yeah, because we will be getting here on our edit, we'll be expecting a slug, which is equal to none first. So if slug is equals to log, um, redirect to post. So when we just type here slash edit, we will just come back here. That's the purpose of this one. But when it has something there, it will go to the edit view. Okay, so slug, and then here is slug, yeah, to get the post, which is right here, get post. So since it has a parameter, this function will do this code. It will go to the, so let's try it. For example, this second post. Oh, undefined variable second post. Trying to get non-property of an object. I guess this is the this one. I mean this one. Yeah, I mean this post will be edit slash dot post ID or slug. Yeah, slug. This should be echo. I think it should be echo. If it's not echo, I don't know anymore. Yeah, it is not echo. Null, and then is it the parameter? Undefined variable first post. Okay, it's not working. So I think we should edit, then post edit, data, data post. Let's move it upwards. Nothing changed. I think this is it. I guess we should let's try it now. Mhm. Mhm. Post, which is this one. This one. Post. This project until get post slug. Get post slug. Query this db get where. Oh, I mistyped it. Why am I so numb? Yeah, it's all working now. I'm so sorry. This. So now what? Oh, actually, crap. Models. Yeah. So now we can see our post here. So for example, yes, I will. It will work. Yeah, it's working. So what should we do now is the update function. So public function in our model should have a post update post which requires ID and then record. So here this is just a in here update post is just like insert. You just have to call it this db e update and then tbl post and then comma uh, record and then array just like where get where here and then id. Oh, I think you don't have to do it. Yeah, I think you should do this, but I really think you just have to say its id just right after the record. I'm really confused which is first, the id or the record. I'm I'm just trial and error, so please bear with me. So this view is now, I mean this controller will be in our edit. Here we shouldn't use add, we should use update. And then record, but on our model, first is ID and then the second is record. So we should get first the ID, which is, if I could use ID. So this input post txt ID. So it will get the value from here. I mean here, hidden. So we can now pass the ID here. Yeah, and that we can now update. So let's see if it's working. I'm not really sure if it's working. I'm just going to make this done. This is my second post and also edited. So let's submit. Yeah, it doesn't work. Oh, success, you update my post, but it's not updated as you can see. This is my second post. See? Submit. But it's not updating. That is why. That is because on our edit, yeah, we changed the form open. So, yeah, I think this one is not working. This update post. I think it should be ID first and then record finally. I'm not sure. Let's just try this. Edited. Yeah. See? You have an error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual that corresponds to MySQL. Use near to where title equals post and body. This is my version. Update TBL set. Yeah. This is correct. The record first and then ID. Yes. Updated. Yeah, I updated it, but it's not updating. I updated it, but it's not updating. Maybe here in our edit, we forgot something. Oh, because we will, yeah, it should be right here. Because the error we're getting is, what my teacher called it? Semantics. Yeah, semantics error. The code is correct, everything is correct, but how you use it is wrong. Because I placed it here on the upper part, which should be placed here. Because you see, when we call this edit, you see, I call it. So this is called, and everything here will be executed. But since it is the first load, it's not a post back, it won't do these codes right here, and then it will skip already to this. So since I load this and then this tree, so I can get the data. But when I click the submit button here, it will, since our update is post edit, it will recall this, which is called post back, it will recall this function, and then because I put this line up here, it will call this again, and then it will get the value from our database, this, and then it will be placed on the, it will be placed all, it will be placed here again, and then saved. So it's not updating because of that. So this is updated. So submit. It's not updating. I thought that's just the problem. Edit, second, post. Post. Why is that? Maybe syntax error again. Yeah, I didn't place it there. What the hell's wrong with me? That's not being called. So if form validation run, let's try if this will run. See, it is placing this one there. I'm pretty sure I should. We should see. I will, and then when I submit it, the title field is required, but it is filled up also because of this one. This. Let's debug this. Okay. So yeah, you should do that. Then let's try. So edit, then first post one, submit. It's not updated, but it says success. You updated a post, but I don't really update it. What do you think? Maybe I have. No, this is not wrong. This is also not wrong. Is it txt id? Yeah, txt id. Since this validation run, it will do this, all of this. ID will be equal to post ID, and then the update post. Am I correct that this is update? This DB update. So localhost project untog / user guide. This is my friend, by the way. Update query builder. I guess updating data. Replace? No, not replace. Set, insert, update. Yeah, update. This DB update is the one I should use. So this is what I use. I will make a array and then pass. But where? There's so much. Oh, yeah. I told you this is needed also. Ooh, I should make a array here. I'm so sorry. Just like this one. But instead of slug, I will use ID and then ID. I hope this will work now. Dated. Save. Yeah, it's now updated. So let's just finish this because I took so much time debugging this one. So I'm really sorry. So for the last thing, which is delete, you just have to make a public function for our delete, which is this one. I'm not sure if it just needs ID. Yeah, it just needs an ID. So it doesn't need a view like edit and create and index. It doesn't need this. You just need to call the function in your just need to call a function in the model and then set a flash data and then also redirect as well. I mean, it's already in there. So yeah, this is just the things you need in your delete function. So you just have to rename this to delete post, which is not yet created in our model, and then I mean I created it, right? Yeah, and I didn't create it. So delete post requires an ID, or since we use slug, yeah, we can use slug. And then in slug equals yeah, and then if slug is exactly equal to like that, then you can use you can redirect. So with this won't load, and then delete post slug, and then set flash data success. You deleted a post. So yeah, in just your in your model, you just have to make public function delete post, which requires an ID. So this db delete dbl post, and then comma, and then array, just to be sure. I really think this is needed. I mean, it's not ID, slug, right? Yeah, it's a slug. So slug equals to slug, just like that. Refresh, and then we will delete this updated. So I'll update it again. That's what I said again, and then delete. So success. You deleted a post. So we title congratulations. We now finish our tutorial. I hope you learned something from me. Good day. So that's it. It's already a create. I created this one and then updated. I can update it and then I can delete. That's it. Thank you.